Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and Jarvises. Yes, you heard me, and I don't want to see anybody but Jarvis going into the Jarvis bathroom. Today, we are embarking on the quest to learn to play what is widely regarded as the best opening track on any Mother Love Bone record, entitled Apple. This is Shangrila. I've been looking forward to this for a very long time. The intro is an octave chord riff. Now, the octave chord is the same note twice. So for instance, if we have an E note on the A string 7th fret and the G string 9th fret is another E note, when you're doing these, it's very important to mute all the other strings. So I'm nudging up on the big E string with my pointer finger so you don't hear that, and my pointer finger's just laying across gently all the other strings so I can strum away, and all you hear are those two strings. Now here's a technique that will serve you well in this and other songs. I call it the strum slide strum strum, because what you do is, let's say we start on 7-9 A G. I'm going to strum, slide up to 9, and strum twice more. Strum, slide, strum, strum. That's going to come up in just a moment. Okay, so it's octave chords all day in this intro. I'll just call out the A string, and the G string, of course, will follow along in kind. We're going to be on 7, up to 9, and then we begin our strum, slide, strum, strumming. It's going to be 9 to 10, 10 to 12, 12 to 10, 10 to 9, and then 9, 10, 9. And that's the first half of the riff. The second half begins exactly the same with the 7th fret, 1 9th fret, and then we start strum, slide, strum, strumming, but it's going to be up to 10, back to 9, down to 7, down to 5, and you just spend the rest of the time on the 5th fret D note. So here's the second half. And that's the intro. You do the first half and the second half until the intro's over. And if there are two folks in your Mother Love Bone tribute band and one wants to play the chords that, of course, nobody's playing on the record, but the chords that are implied, it's E minor, C, G, E minor, C, D, in a loop. And how do we know what chords are implied? Well, by what Jeff is playing, of course. And one of the reasons I wanted to loop back and do all this Mother Love Bone is to really delve into what Jeff and Stone were doing pre-Pearl Jam. And I want to point out that in this section, Jeff is going like this. An E note, a glissando, or a bium as I call it, and a lower E note. And what do you know? That's exactly his bass line in the chorus of Alive. I really should have demonstrated. Alright, now you hear it. Guitar players, in the verse, you have an easy job. All you do is play an E power chord, that's the 7th fret of the A string, and you hit it, and bium. Around the world, do nothing. Wrote a million songs. D, 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 E. Here's the little riff. It happens, both guitars do it, one in a lower octave and one in a higher octave. We can grab the G string 14th fret, bend it down to 12, and then on the D string, before we, again, so, and the lower octave, you could do it on the G string 2nd fret. I'm going to do it on the D string 7th fret down to 5. That's the verse. So, other times in the verse, instead of that thing, you'll get an octave riff again. The first one is going to be 10, 9, 7, 5, 7. The last one is going to be 10, 9, 10, 12, 10, 9. But this is all octaves in the E minor scale, so you should feel encouraged to pick your own. Here are all of your options going backwards: E7, D5, C3, B2, or going up, E, F sharp on 9, G on 10, A on 12, B on 14, C on 15, and let's go up to D on 17. You can do any of those, and sometimes in that first verse you hear somebody, I'm guessing it's Stone, playing a C9 chord after the, you just hear this. It's A3, D2, and then G, B, E3, if you can swing it, which sounds like a mess, and it is a mess, and you know, he's been doing a lot of E7 sharp 9s. There's one thing we know about Stone, it's he likes to make a mess. Great news. The chorus, you already know it. It's the intro. The chords to the bridge, 'Cause Love, is just A and G. 3 times. One more time. And then you land on E minor. And you can do it that way. That's fine, but there's a fun way to do it up here. Because check it out, if 222 on DGB is A and 12 is the same as open, then 14, 14, 14 is an A chord as well. So play that here, and that gives you the opportunity to do stuff like this. Which happens, you grab 14s on GB, pull off to 12s, then grab your D string 14th fret, and back to GB 12. And after that happens, you hear a chromatic walk up from this is G through G sharp on the 13th fret and landing back up at A. So and you can do that, or you can mess around with any E minor pentatonic stuff you care to noodle with during that section. After the bridge, we come to the solo, which is the same implied chords from the intro. E minor, C, G, E minor, C, D. And this song is in E minor, and so you use the E minor pentatonic scale. Do whatever noodles you like to do. Do it in position 1. That's great. 12, 15, 12, 14, 12, 14, 12, 14, 12, 15, 12, 15. Or whatever you like to do. Then we come to another bridge. This one's a little noodlier in the noodly spaces. Here's a cool one. It keeps going D string 12, 13, 14 to G12. That's fun. So E minor pentatonic plus an in-betweeny note. And the only other thing to say is kind of the landing chord. Instead of E minor, you can play E minor, that's fine. But here comes another E7 sharp 9. I think it's the 4th E7 sharp 9, and this is the 7th Mother Love Bone song we've done. So oddly abundant in this sample size. We got the A string 7th fret, D string 6th fret, G string 7th fret, and B string 8th fret. It's the Jimi Hendrix chord. It's called E7 sharp 9, and so you'll be like A, give it a, and then we're into the whole outro jammy section. No, I'm sorry, it's the last chorus, and the last chorus is twice as long as all the other 2 chori, so do what we said for the first half of the last chorus, one normal chorus length, the chord progression, or the octave chords, and in the second half, the double end of the chorus, the octave chords stay the same, but the chord progression, for some reason, changes to E minor, C, G, A. So each chord only gets 2 beats. E minor, C, G, A, and the song ends ends with a teeny little bridge segment. So A plus the, over the G chord, and the whole song ends on, you guessed it, E7 sharp 9. And this is Shangri-La, otherwise known as That Is Shangri-La. That was fun. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that was fun and helpful, and if you think a playthrough would help your learning process, you're going to find that on my Patreon page. I'll see you next time with more stuff. Goodbye.